So today we're going to do ser versus estar. Both of these verbs mean to be, as you can see on the board. And then I'm going to run through the pronunciations of each, right? And then I'm going to give you examples of how to use each. And as you can see, there's some sample sentences so you can relate each bullet with a sentence. And so I'm going to start with ser. Soy, eres, es, somos, sois, son. And then for estar, which also means to be, estoy, estás, está, estamos, estáis, están. And again, just to bring your attention to the accents, those have accents on them, whereas the other ones don't. And then over here, there are no accents. So both are examples also of irregular verbs in the present tense. And so ser and estar. There's a jingle that we have to help you all remember or differentiate to a certain extent how you feel and where you are. Always use the verb estar. And so as that, I'll use that as a segue on over here to estar. So how you feel, feeling, estoy muy cansado, right? That feeling of being tired. So that fits within the estar category. Now, if it were an individual that were perpetually tired and sort of like sluggish, and that was let's say a personality trait or a characteristic of that person, then you could get away with saying, él es cansado. You could get away with that. But keep in mind that when you do something like that, you are describing that person's sort of as a character trait, right? Now, most of us will fall under this category. Estoy muy cansado, or estás muy cansada, where we're just tired today, right? And so, for the most part, this is an ideal sample sentence, and for the most part, when you're going to use cansado, it's going to be here. So, I just wanted you to see the difference in terms of the use of it. Location, estoy en la clase de español. Your location right now is in Spanish class. So, ustedes están en la clase de español. Yo estoy en la clase de español. Right? So, feeling and location. The other ones that are outside of that jingle are present progressive, which are your ing verbs, your ing, which is the ing in Spanish is called the gerund. So, escuchando and comiendo are in gerund form, right? And that's your ando and your yendo. So you would drop AR, ER, IR. You're left with the stem, and then you would add, if it's an AR, you would add ando. If it's an ER, IR, you would add yendo. For those of you who were trying to figure out how to form that, right? And so the present progressive is a reason to use estar, and it comes with two components, estar and the gerund. So we have estoy escuchando la música. Right here, tú estás comiendo el almuerzo, right? And so both are good uses of the present progressive. I am listening to music and you are eating lunch. The last example for estar are conditions, right? And of course, being tired can fall under a condition as well. However, in this case, we have the door is closed. La puerta está cerrada. Now notice with the conditions, we're using a past participle, right? Cerrado, but it's cerrado because it's agreeing with the subject. So that's one of the big differences between present progressive and these conditions. Notice that irrespective of gender and number up here, it's only going to end with the letter O. Whereas under conditions, if there were more than one door, for example, las puertas, you would say están cerradas, and you would agree again with that subject, right? If it were a restaurant, el restaurante está cerrado, right? You would agree with the noun and make it O. So, coming over here to ser, the reasons for ser, we have time, right? So to ask what time it is que hora es, of course, right? Es agreeing with hora, which is a singular noun. In response to that, depending on what time it is, you would say son las dos, son las tres, son las 2:30. If it's the 1 o'clock or a derivative from 1 to 1:59, you would say es la 1:30, for example. Date, just so we can put a date stamp on today, right? Hoy es el 21 de septiembre. Notice Hoy es, the use of the verb ser. Occupation, or in Spanish, oficio. Soy doctora, right? If you're a female doctor, right? We'll put eres enfermera up here, right? You're a nurse, right? So again, moving right along to origin. Origin is just where someone is from. De donde eres. It's why when you, in some of the earlier Spanish classes, you learn de donde eres too. Oh, yo soy de Virginia, yo soy de Colombia, yo soy de Peru, somos de Ecuador, right? Characteristics. This is describing an individual, right? And so this, here we have a female, soy alta, so it's a tall female saying I am tall, right? This is letting you know that it's a single female. Of course, this is letting you know it's yo, I am tall. And then here is eres bajo. Ending with O lets you know that it's one singular male, right? So eres bajo. You use that to say you are short, right? And then lastly, relationship. This is just talking about, it can be family, it can be friends, it can be really any type of relationship. But we have an example here. Sam es, right? Sam is, because it's singular, mi amigo, right? So in conclusion, these are the main reasons we would differentiate between the use of estar and the use of ser. Okay, just as a bit of bonus footage, because it was something that showed up on an activity. Notice we have la puerta está cerrada. That's a condition. The door is closed. It's describing the door itself, right? This sample sentence here uses a similar door enclosed, but it's using ser. Now the reason why is las puertas son cerradas por los estudiantes. And it really all comes down to that. So it's no longer the door is shut as much as the door is closed by the students. Machu Picchu was built by the Inca. And the windows were constructed by so-and-so. And so it really comes down to this word here, right? It moves away from the door just being closed as opposed to it being closed by someone. And so when you use the por, for example, the door is closed by the students, that you're then obligated to use ser. And that can be really confusing, right? Because you're seeing door and closed, right? And you're already trained to know that that's estar, but it's really this, it being done by somebody, that makes it so it's ser. Again, adding to our bonus footage, we have a sample sentence. La fiesta de cumpleaños blank en la casa de Marta. So the birthday party is at Marta's house, right? And so what makes that not estar is the fact that this is an event. And so when an event is taking place in a location, you would refer to that with ser. And so you would say, la fiesta de cumpleaños es en la casa de Marta. Or really anytime you have an event, right? Like the party is at my house. La fiesta es en mi casa. Now all the people at the house would say, estoy en la fiesta de Jason, because they're referring to their location. But what makes it important, in much of the same way this dictates what this is, the fact that this is an event dictates that you use the verb ser instead of estar.